everybody, welcome to midweek. This is week 23, just in case you are counting. I'm not, but Sean was. He always knows, I don't, I lost track. 23 weeks we have been doing this. I feel like we're maybe like one of those prisoners and we kind of mark the line. We are in some capsule where we're kind of marking each week of this duration. I have no idea how long we're going to do this, but when we hit week, 53 or whatever the case may be, we'll know. We've been in this for a long time. So, as we have been doing in the past few weeks, we've been inviting some guests, and you have communicated back to us these are some of the best weeks that we've had, and we can tell that by the number of views that we've had. And so we brought some new guests this week, and it's like, wow, who are these folks? These are some of our great church folks, and welcome. Glad you guys are here. Why don't you introduce your family and tell us a little about who you guys are, and you have a very special ministry in our church that we're going to talk about today. Yeah. Jonathan, introduce your family and tell us who you guys are.
Yeah, I'm Jonathan Rodman, and we've been going to this church for 10 plus years. Actually, we're introduced to the church by the Hanna family, Chris Hanna and Dean Hanna. I work for a large cardiology group, Oregon Heart Center, and we've been in Salem for 13 plus years.
I stay at home with the kids. We have 3 kids. I homeschool, the 2 older, and then the other one is 2. So we have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And I'm a full-time, stay-at-home homeschool mom.
Yep.
And so Angela, you're teaching all day, and Jonathan, you do heart. What do you do with heart?
So I run an ultrasound department, mainly cardiac, hearts, and then vascular, the arteries and veins of the body.
So you're one of those guys that do echocardiograms.
Yeah, ultrasounds
and
of the heart and stuff. Yeah, echocardiograms. Yep.
Yeah, we do an annual one with our daughter, and it's all the blue and the reds and the beautiful pictures and the flow.
Yeah, I do all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those beautiful pictures are insanely expensive.
They're expensive. Yeah, the machines are also insanely expensive.
I know, they are. But we're so very thankful for people like you. Yeah. And moms like you, teachers like you.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's great. Your family, Rodmans, you had this neat passion. You are working, raising up a phenomenal generation of kids, and yet you had this desire to, in a way, expand the footprint and ministry of your family. Tell us a little bit about the journey of what God did in your family. How did He kind of press you? There was a couple of stages in this. Angela, what was it that God did?
There were a couple stages. I told John pretty early on in our marriage, I think I want to do foster care.
Yeah.
I have a sister who's adopted, and I just felt this calling to do foster care. And so we waited, and then I started to look into the process. I was talking to DHS. I said, we want to start the process, and I found out we were expecting again. And I said, oh, maybe this isn't the time. I thought we had hit this window where the kids were old enough. We're going to start fostering. And I said, maybe not. And then I came to a homeschool night here at church, actually, and I found out about what's called Safe Families. And I'd heard about Safe Families for Children a little bit through the Harada family, Gabby and Aaron Harada, who also attend our church. And when I heard about it again at the homeschool night, I said, oh, wait, I was interested in that. I want to learn a little bit more about that. And then through that, we learned that there was another program we could do that was not foster care. We're strictly volunteer. We don't get paid for what we do, and we're not DHS involved with what we do, but we do step in and help families in crisis.
So Safe Families is an organization that I've met with you, and the Harada family is involved with it.
Not currently because they're doing the foster care adoptive thing.
They're doing foster care. So tell us what Safe Families as an organization does. What is their kind of ministry? What is their model?
The model is to develop a pseudo family support system around people that have a really weak social network. They don't have a lot of support. They don't have a lot of help. They don't have strong family members to help them, strong friends to help them, and they end up getting into some position of crisis and that can vary widely, but they don't have anybody else to help them. And our job is to try to come in and help them before things just fray and fall apart and they end up in DHS or something, right? So it's to develop a circle of support around families in crisis so they can stay a family.
So the goal is, unlike in, some kids need to be removed.
Absolutely.
That's fostering.
Absolutely.
This is kids who are in their families, mom or dad, but oftentimes mom. More often mom needs respite, needs support. So tell us some of the things, because I know you have done some work with Safe Families. And Angela, tell us some of the work that you've done, some of the things that you've done to support some moms.
The thing I like about Safe Families is that no situation is the same. Every one that we do is unique, and we can tailor it to that person's needs. And so we really are co-parenting through crisis. We're in contact with the family through the whole situation. We make sure that mom and dad are setting goals. That's part of the program, is that they set the goals. And they say, I'm reaching out for help. I've found out about Safe Families from a variety of areas, from police officers, from hospitals, from doctors' offices, family building blocks, other community services like that. And I want help. So these are motivated individuals. So we have one family we've been walking with for 16 months. Mm-hmm. She has 3 children, but the one that we took her in twice. Once last spring, and then once a year ago in August. But now we're a year out from that second placement. Mom is 1 year sober. Mom is housed. She was homeless. Mom has a job, and she's stable. And that's, for me, that's amazing. That's what we want to see. And I didn't do the work. She did the hard work. She went to the meetings. She got the job. She got the housing. She did all the work. I just relieved some of the burden so that she could do the work. And that's just what I love. And then another placement we had was a mom who, I didn't even know she went to our church until I went to the meeting and found out we attended the same church. And that was just great, because she was like, I'm so comfortable with you watching my son, because I know we have the same goals and values and we go to the same church, and that's just wonderful. And she actually just needed some medical care and didn't have anybody to watch her child while that was happening. But we've stuck with her. The medical procedure was in March. We're still doing porch meetings, porch drop-offs, those kind of things, making sure the family is stable and doing well. And so through Safe Families, I was just able to do 3 porch visits with families we've been walking with for a significant time, and all are stable, healthy, and doing well.
So Safe Families, again, it's a different way than fostering. It actually, in each situation, can look very different.
Exactly.
But again, the goal is to keep the kids with mom and dad.
Yes.
And oftentimes you get to help mentor the parents, and they're setting goals, and you're partnering with them.
Yeah, and there are separate, for volunteers, mentoring. Ideally, you have a few different ways to volunteer. You'd have the support family. Generally, that's going to be someone that's going to be watching the kids in those crisis periods, whatever they are, keeping them safe, so that the parents can have the bandwidth to fix whatever the problems are, right? And then you can have family friends. That's someone that maybe doesn't want to be a
overnight host.
Doesn't want to be a host family, but wants to help. So they may provide day babysitting while you take an older kid to an appointment, or get supplies that you may need, or whatever. But they would assist a host family, but maybe they don't want to be a host family. And then you would have mentors, what you were just talking about.
Right.
And ideally, as we expand with enough volunteers, you can get to where you have consistent mentors that stay with these families. Because if Angela is we're doing kind of dual roles.
Right.
We don't quite have enough volunteers.
But ideally, you'd
fill all the
have,
roles.
because as she starts to mentor more of these families long term, that reduces our capacity to keep being a host family, right? So
yeah, so that was really helpful, Jonathan, what you just told us. There was kind of like you identified at least 3 roles for folks in our church. If you wanted to volunteer with Safe Families, host family, a mentor, or like day aid, or
And that's like a volunteer. You're assisting the host family, so
Yeah.
you're And there's also, we need prayer partners, and we need
so there's a fourth way that
and
you
there's
can be
also
involved.
resource partners.
Okay.
So we do this all out of our own pocket and income. So there's times when we get a kiddo and we're like, we need food, we need diapers, we might need clothing, we might need shoes. And so if we have resource partners who we can say, hey, this is kind of what we need in this situation, then they can help us through that, because we don't get a stipend or anything like that. We do this all from our families, our heart to serve.
Yep.
If a person wants to help, so you listed at least 5 ways that a person could engage with Safe Families.
Yeah.
So if a person says, man, I could do one of those, or maybe all 5, if they want to be involved in some ways with Safe Families, how do we get them connected?
The best way to probably get connected is you can go on the website, and it's safe-families.org. Safe-families.org. And then you find our city, the Mid-Willamette Valley chapter, and you can just go on there, and it tells you all about each role and what they do and how you can become involved, and you can even fill out an application there. Or people can contact me. That would be fine as well. The goal of Safe Families is to get some churches in our community involved, and to have, the best way to set it up is to have like a ministry lead. We could use one of those, that would be great. And then that ministry lead would be able to set people up within the church and help them get connected with Safe Families. Because the organization basically has one person who's doing a lot of work. And so they need help from churches.
So if you're interested in Safe Families and you want to help, contact the website is one, or contact the office. Give us your name, and we will get your name to Safe Families and or to the Rodmans, and we'll get in contact with you. Thanks, you guys, for coming. Appreciate your vision and your persistence. And we met quite a few months ago, and we met with the directors with Safe Families. Great people, and appreciate the Haradas and their long time casting vision for this, and appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited.
Great to have you guys here.
Thank you.
Hey, we have a couple of things just to kind of wrap up. Weekend services. We're going to stop the sign-ups. They're settling down in terms of where people are going. Those are in good shape. So you're going to notice that we're pulling those off. That doesn't mean we're not having services. It just doesn't mean you need to sign up. Just go to the service of your choice. They're settling down nicely in terms of the numbers, and so just keep coming. You're doing a great job. Weekend services outside are going to be absolutely the same unless it is scorching hot. Then usually that second service will roll in. But as we've looked at the weather coming up, it looks like they're going to both be outside. Last week we rolled the second service in. You sun worshipers were a little frustrated with us, but you at least had the afternoon to go out and get some sun. So we wanted to make sure that we didn't have any heat strokes. So no more sign-ups. That's one thing. We do have a baptism coming up on the 30th. I guarantee it's going to be creative. We're still not sure where we're going to baptize them. It may be, and I'm just not going to tell you what it's going to be, but it may be the most, well, can I say creative baptistry you've ever seen? We're still debating that one. It's going to be edgy. And I can't even tell you what we're thinking. But it's going to be edgy. It's going to be fun. If I hadn't been baptized 3 times, I think I'd consider doing it again. So just so you know, the 30th, it's going to be a great time for baptisms. Small groups are getting ready to start up. We're going to be doing whaleology. It's a study of Jonah. It's going to be incredible. So blue whales, humpbacks, all kinds of whales. We're going to be studying those. So you want to join those. They start in mid-September. The restoration, how is that going? For those of you who this is news to you, we did have a break-in, fairly significant damage, somewhere in the vicinity of 75 to 100,000. Not sure, could be above that. Seriously doubt it's going to be below that. We're replacing most of the flooring on the ground floor and the second floor of the education wing. A lot of windows. HVAC system, going to have to do a complete cleansing of that one. The team is working hard on that. It looks like we're going to have that mostly done on the ground floor by the 1st. So those guys are doing a great job. Complete repainting. they're just doing a great job. So keep praying for them. They're doing fantastic. Want to continue to encourage you to watch and pray. That means for you and me every day at home, and also on Monday night, 7 o'clock, we're praying for the nations. It's a great time. I've been continued to be reminded that we are like Esther. We're called for this season. We're called and created for this day. And one of the things I've been looking for are leaders who are carrying an unsurmountable weight. Our principal at our school, Stacy Boost, unbelievable weight she carries. Our superintendent in Christy Perry in Salem Kaiser. Can you imagine the weight they carry every day dealing with all of the issues? Our governor, our president. Let's continue to pray for them. And if you have the opportunity and you have access to those folks, make sure that you do everything you can to lift them up, encourage them, and bless them, and pray for them. I think another one that I want to just encourage you is just for the disadvantaged. People who, in whatever case, be it folks of minority, be it people economically that are just disadvantaged. I think of people business-wise that are disadvantaged, people that are closing. I hear of almost every day of businesses that are closing. These are challenging times. Let's be the kind of folks that look for people. Instead of looking for people to blame, let's look for people that we can maybe even disadvantage ourselves to help those and lift them up and encourage them. God has given us the Spirit of Christ, the power of God in us to be the church. We love you. We're so privileged to pray for you and to lead you and to be salt and light in this community. Thanks so much for being with us on midweek. Look forward to seeing you this weekend. God bless you.